Hey guys, Daniel from Team Kuribrohs here, and today I am joined with the illustrious Alec Drinkwater. So for anybody who's been following us on Facebook, this weekend we had multiple regional tops. Alec, in fact, went above and beyond and topped not one, but
Already above and beyond.
two UK regionals. How are you feeling, Alec?
Got to negate a lot of cards. It was good.
Okay, good. So lots of negates. What deck could you possibly be playing? Was it Trickstar?
No. It was not. No, I played Pendulum. I played smash all of the good Pendulum cards together, Pendulum. Just then to play good cards.
And what inspired you to play this? You were last on Draco Striker, I believe, on the
I was
channel.
last on Draco Striker, and then I went back to normal Striker, and yeah, the Endymion cards came out, and I wanted to give them a try. So I just ran them together and played what I thought was the best going first version of that deck. Especially thinking there's a lot of decks choosing second at the moment, so I really didn't want to be playing a choose second deck. So yeah, I wanted to just play a pretty good going first deck for early weeks of the new format.
Sure.
Worked out.
Shall we get into the profile?
Eat.
40 card main deck?
45. Too many good cards.
Too many good cards.
I say, you play like minimum lineups of basically every engine. You start with one Papa Smurf, and 3 of each of the new broken cards. So this just searches this guy, and has a technical other effect, but this just searches this guy. And this guy is super, super broken. So, gains a spell counter in scale for every spell that you play, and then remove 3 spell counters from him, special summon him, and another Pendulum from deck. And yeah, basically you get to set
Pendulum
up...
that gets spell counters, right?
Yeah, I mean, lots of other words, like the tech box, like, come on. But yeah, it summons 2 Pendulums to your side of the field without using your normal summon. And the thing that you summon from deck is always Jackal, so you can normal summon the second one, link off your normal summon and this, and leave the Jackal on field to protect your Electromite from hand traps. So this card is super, super broken, and you just play 6 of this, and you literally just play actual Endymion himself as a searchable high scale, who technically has a good effect and is really good in the Striker matchup.
Yeah. Striker being quite good.
Striker being quite good. And then more good engines. I'm on 3-2-1, so I think this bit is fairly self-explanatory. I think this card is just broken beyond belief. It's a 1-card special summon a Pendulum without using your Pendulum summon, and search for your 1-card negate, like put it in your extra deck. So I think that bit is just 100% mandatory. Would never not play that. And then Garuda is literally just an MST from scale. You play it in your scale, and as long as you have nothing in your other scale, you can destroy another spell and trap and itself.
It's a searchable out to mine, which is really big.
Yeah, 100%. So backer removal is just really good right now. Not just mine, but all the Widow Anchors, Orcus are ending on either a counter trap, or you can pop the field spell, or just Fog Blades. The majority of decks are ending on spell and trap based interaction, so Salamine Grates and all that kind of jazz. So searchable MST is just very, very good right now. Technically also has a hand trap effect where you can use it as interaction on your opponent's turn, but that just never comes up. It's just a one of concession as a good going second card. So those guys. Then this engine we've seen forever. They're still just really good, really good. Thing that catches a lot of people out is if you open Chronograph and Master Cerberus, that's like the second Exodia in the deck. First Exodia is just Resolving Servant. Second Exodia is this, because you can just play this guy in scale and search for Jackal, and then activate Chronograph because this guy destroyed himself, and special both of these, and then just normal summon any other these 2 into Electromite, and you still have a Jackal to protect your Electromite from hand traps. Yeah, so they're really good right now as well. Again, you just need ways of getting to Electromite pre-Pendulum Summon. That's just how the deck has always been. So then, Dragon Engine, Dark Worm is still just broken. Foolish Burial and all of that is just the freest way of getting pluses in the deck. So I run just 1 Foolish and 1 Shrine, and then I'm playing Ravine for reasons I'll explain later. Playing 3 of this and not 2 of this, more of the Foolishes, because I'm also playing Pendulum Call, and Pendulum Call plus Dark Worm is obviously broken. So I was happy to play the full 3 of this. You side one out a reasonable amount of time, but 3's fine in the main deck. Just 1 gate 0, just because you like it, but you can't actually do anything. Most of the time you cannot pendulum 7s, and having low skills is typically not an issue, so you only need to play 1. You'd like to not draw it, but it's not the end of the world. And then as part of the engine for some of the Guard Dragon combos, I'll play Destrudo. Basically, if you resolve Guard Dragon combos, you just end up with a free Destrudo that's unused in your graveyard. That lets you promote just any random level 6 or lower monster that doesn't currently negate anything into FA Dragster. So you just get to freely promote any one monster left on your field into a negate at the end of your combo. Which is pretty good. So that's all those guys. Now Magicians. So 3 of the good ones and 3 of the bad ones. Literally just minimum lineups, and then 2 and 2 Pencool and Alliance. So mathematically, I'm pretty sure 3 and 2 is totally fine. It's probably more correct, but I wanted to keep the deck lower-ish in cards. Didn't just want to swell extras. So yeah, I'm just playing 2 and 2. I think that's fairly standard and fairly well adopted across a lot of Pendulum decks at the moment. And yeah, you basically play the good one, ways of searching the good one, and as few of these as possible to make sure that they stay live. Purple Poison being better as a low scale, because yeah, just low scales are harder to find. And then I play Zephyrs as well. So the bit that I find weird is a lot of people play like the heavy Zefra deck with like 3 field spells, 3 Providence, multiple of the traps. And that deck's great and all going first, but sucks ass going second. Like, none of the Zephyr cards actually do anything going second. There's like this guy who gets you a free +1, kind of, sort of. But the rest of them are just terrible. And drawing multiple Zephyr cards is really bad. So I run as small an engine as you can humanly run, which is 1 Zephyrath, 2 of these guys, 2 field spells, 1 Providence, and 1 counter trap. So you always want to find one of these at some point before you Pendulum Summon, because it's just a free negate. This guy just searches Providence, which then searches Divine Strike. The really cute thing about this engine is it lets you search a spell card for after you Pendulum Summon. So if you like Pendulum Summon this guy and let me search the pile, and Jackal and a bunch of the Endymion stuff as well. A lot of the time you get stuck in this weird position where you've Pendulum Summoned and you've ended on a bunch of Jackals, but you don't have any spell counters on any of them. So the fact that you get to search a spell card with your Pendulum Summon and then play a spell card after your Pendulum Summon means that you always go into your opponent's turn with all of your negates ready, and you're not relying on your opponent to play a spell card before you actually have live negates. So that's a pretty big thing that I really like the Zephyr engine for. It also just gives you more spells, because on top of these, I also play the 2 Terraforming for the Dragon Shrine, so earlier, and the 2 Zephyrs. Again, it just adds spells, which makes your Endymion stuff live, more reliably live pre-Pendulum Summon. So this engine is really strong. It's really, really broken going first, as I say. It's just a free negate on top of your otherwise good board. These are really good fodder for your Guard Dragon combos that you can use them as link fodder, and you don't reduce the number of negates on your board because it's in trap form. It also means that you're guaranteed to always have some number of interactions through like being sphere moded, that kind of stuff. I got Ultimate Conductor Tyrannoed once this weekend. Literally just Miscellaneous Source from hand, have to negate it. Normal summon the level 4 guy, have to negate it. Banish 2 for Ultimate Conductor, attack over your field. And it sucks, but you always have a guaranteed one piece of interaction, even through worst case scenario kind of stuff, which is really, really useful. And always have backup for mine and stuff like that. So that's the Zephyrs. The plan is to side out the entire Zephyr engine, all 7 of them going second. That's how you make space for interaction cards, and you just play the other good engines for going second. And then the 45th card's Upstart, obviously.
Because the spell counters are so important?
Yeah, pretty much. You just want to maximize Servant getting to 3 pre-Pendulum Summon. Really, this card is broken beyond belief if you can get to 3 pre-Pendulum Summon, so you may as well maximize it. The negative hit of like drawing your side cards slightly less, not having hand, like the only hand trap I have a 3 Lancia in the side deck, so that interaction doesn't really matter. And anti-spell is already gonna kill you anyway, so it's pretty much free, and the 1,000 life never matters because you either way overkill them or do nothing. One of the two. Yeah, so it's just free to play. Right, so the extra is weird. The first like 12, 13 cards are all staple, and then the last few slots I didn't think were very good, but I'll kind of talk through my thought process. Electrify. Good card. Would play. So then the full Guard Dragon engine, LP Triple Burst, Agripane, Vortex, and Spheres. That is the standard lineup. If you're playing the Guard Dragon stuff, that's what you have to play. And then the 2 payoff synchros that you get towards the end of it. This is for Harmonizing Magician, and this is for the Destrudo. So those are most commonly the negates you're ending on. Other things you end on going first. Dweller just for Orcust, and technically you'd make it against like True Draco and stuff like that, but that never come up. And Decode really good against Striker, pretty much only for that matchup, but really good against Striker. Boral Sword kills people real good. When going second, a lot of the time you like do your stuff to bait out all their interactions, get to the stage where you Pendulum Summon, and then just do normal Guard Dragon combo. And once you get to the setup of these 2 guys pointing at each other, instead of making these into Heavenly Sphere, you just use these and one other monster and just go straight into Boral Sword and just kill them. So that's how you win most of your games going second, is you like, get to the stage where you've broken through and then just your normal combo just happens to do like 12 billion damage. 1 B-Cop, you need to play a second Link 2 that has good arrows. Was 50-50 on this or Lanifrancus. Advantage of this is you can make Boral Sword with it because it's an effect monster. Advantage of Lanifrancus is it can't be Widow Anchored because it's not an effect monster. So both have their advantages. Yeah, I don't know which is better, but this is the one I chose. It never mattered which one I played. But that is a thing to at least think about. Other cards, yeah, these are the ones that don't really matter. The Cowboys just for time. The side space is really, really tight, so I was happy to play it in the main deck rather than siding it, but it never comes up. This deck never goes to time. Your games are very quick and decisive. Phoenix is just good removal. It is useful for once you have Pendulum Summoned just a bunch of junk against Striker specifically, and you know there's 1 Widow Anchor left. Like, it's useful to just, when you're going to make 4 monsters into Boral Sword, go through this. And Black Rose Dragon was literally, in theory, just for Destrudo after Red Rebooting, was the idea of it, but never came up. It's actually extra. It can probably be improved on, but it's like it can't be too far off. Like, you make the first 10 cards all the time, and the rest of them you're basically never making. So yeah, that's what it is. And the side was really good. I really enjoyed the side. So a bunch of standard cards. 3 Pancra. You need to side 3 of this. It's the safest hedge that you can side against anything. So all the time you go first game 1, you make your board, and they scoop without showing you a card. So you just side in Pancratops, and it will be good regardless of what you're playing against. It's also good against a bunch of matchups where you don't know if they're going to side Floodgates. So you can side it in as a hedge in that situation. It's also just the best one against decks that have like single piece of interaction, like Strikes and Salamangreat specifically. They have like counter traps and single destruction. So those kind of things are great. And then if your opponent doesn't have the things that you need to remove with Pancratops, you can just Pendulum Summon him. Or special summon him pre-Pendulum Summon. And he's really big, and he kills people real good. So like Pancratops is just the best hedge, in my opinion, for siding. But in a lot of work this weekend. Lancias, so your worst matchup by far, I think, is Orcust. All of the other decks sort of make boards that you can interact with. So Salamangrates, they have 1, maybe 2 back row, and a hand trap. Those are typically like fields you can play through. Because the hand traps typically never remove your cards; they just stop your effects. So like the ashes and the veilers and the whatever impermanence specifically. So they're all fine, and a single piece of hard interaction you can play through and just kill them through. But Orcus, they have the Fog Blades, which are inconvenient, but the main thing you can't really beat is the pop 2 off of Dingirsu and Bardiche. And they almost always have the counter trap to protect it from the one Garuda that you play. And you literally cannot beat the just free pop 2 that they have. And then if they ever have any hand traps or anything on top of that, then you're just 100% dead. So that's the one matchup I felt like you needed the Lancia. It's also a matchup that doesn't lose to like Sphere mode or to normal like Red Reboot or Denko, or it's not all of its interaction isn't on the board, so you can't just destroy it on the board. It just works in weird ways that you can't interact with it once it's set up. So I felt like this is the only way of stopping them getting to that situation. Denko, this is mostly for mine and mostly for the really, really heavy trap decks. I wouldn't side this in against like Salamangrates or what's the other one I'm thinking of? I forget.
Are you bringing it in against Striker?
Yeah, Striker, mostly the going second Striker. If they're going first Striker, then I'm less inclined because they can just be the like summon a dude, set the metaverse, shotgun the metaverse kind of person, which this is less good against. But yeah, the Striker and then the like sub-terrors and ultrageists and that kind of stuff. The really heavy reliant trap decks. And then Reboot. There's a theme here. Just stopping your opponent from interacting with you. Reboot is just much better against the decks that you expect to be flipping anti-spell in the standby phase. So it's the Salamangrate specifically.
Anti-spell and strikes are both
Yeah.
sad times.
Like strikes, you can slightly play around a good portion of the main deck. Special summons itself, so you do genuinely do a lot of stuff without your Pendulum Summon, but yeah, anti-spell you have no real ways of beating. So Red Reboot and Pancratops are your two hedges for anti-spell decks. Mm-hmm. And then these were kind of like my techie bit in the side. So as I say, you side out the Zefra engine going second. But I really didn't want to have to side out the terraformings, because I felt like you still wanted to keep as many spells as possible. So I was trying to think of the best spell for going second into resolved boards. And also the best one is just Mystic Mine. As degenerate as it is, it's either a must negate card that you can search for with terraforming, or you just do your normal pendulum stuff and they use all their interaction, and then you just go terraforming mine. And then you play pass turn for the next, 12 turns. And then once you've drawn the Tiddlies with Pendulums, then you just play a lot of cards and just kill them. Mm-hmm. Either, you set your Dragon Ravine over it, or you both get to one monster, and then you can use Electromite to pop this. Lots of ways of getting rid of this once you're done with it. But yeah, card is super degenerate, and it makes going second a lot freer because you don't need to try and kill them in one turn. So if they do have just a lot of hand traps and interactions, you can just slowly wade your way through it by just drawing 5 more cards per turn and then making your big push. Or in the really slow matchups, you can just wait for the power cards, Red Reboots and Denkos and stuff before you actually make your push. And then midfield breaker. So the only card in the main deck you want to side out going first is the one Garuda, just because it's a searchable MST, doesn't do anything going first. So I wanted to have a single card that you could side in for going first. It was going to be Cold Bide, but then I just thought this would be a better hedge, because you can also side mid-breaker in for Striker going second. Stop all the Widow Anchors and everything. And then Set Rotation is kind of cool, because Set Rotation is a second mid-breaker field for going first and second. You can Set Rotation in your standby phase, and then enter your main phase and flip the mid-breaker field. So yeah, it's a second mid-breaker field, which is really cool. And it's a strict win condition against the mine decks. If you literally just flip Set Rotation and it resolves and don't activate your field spell, they have basically 0 outs unless they're playing heavy Storm Dusters or some weird stuff like that. and it's just another way of getting to Mystic Mine going second. Your side is typically 8 cards, which is like, again, basically every match is 8 cards, like 3 Reboot, 3 Pankratops, Mine, and Set Rotation is like the most common thing. So that engine worked out really, really well. Taking that in for different matches based on going first and second. I'd play that again. That was very, very successful. So, yeah.
Cool.
That's the full list.
Any final thoughts? How were your matchups?
I mean, honestly, I didn't win many die rolls. I just had to kill a lot of people going second, just breaking 2 negate boards, just like normal Salad boards or normal Sky Striker stuff. For, I played everything under the sun, the kitchen sink of regionals. There's a lot of decks out there that are choosing second, which, is obviously very helpful. This deck just sodomizes those decks. You just put up too many negates, and you have almost 1 negate for every card that they have. The deck doesn't lose to any hand traps, so Salamangrates specifically, like, that matchup is just free, and Salamangrates are very popular, like, here in Europe. So, like, I think matchup-wise across the board, I really liked basically everything except Orcust. So, yeah, given the current popularity of decks where Striker is super popular and Salad is super popular, I think the deck is very well positioned. And if you're a man who likes to win die rolls, then like it's pretty hard to lose games. So I think the deck is very powerful and very strong. I'm going to be testing it more and see what we can do with it. But yeah, I like it for now.
Cool. Well, congratulations again. Thank you very much for the profile. We will also have a combo video at some point for anybody who's wanting to pick up the deck, because the Guard Dragon combos are reasonably awkward if you haven't seen them before.
A lot of weird placements and stuff. It's not necessarily intuitive.
And check back soon.